Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're looking at someone maybe less famous, but really pivotal from Shivaji Maharaj's time, Ranoji Wagh.
Absolutely. His story, especially around Chakan Fort, is quite something.
Yeah, we've got various sources, historical accounts, research, even some notes on, local lore,
And our mission really is to get a handle on what his actions meant strategically.
and why it still matters, right? That idea of sacrifice. Okay, so let's unpack this. Ranoji Wagh, who was he? Where does he fit?
Well, he was a key military commander, a sardar, very trusted by Shivaji Maharaj. The sources consistently point to his intelligence, his courage.
A real leader figure, then.
Definitely. Known for leadership and absolutely dedicated to Shivaji and the whole Swarajya movement.
Swarajya, Shivaji's core idea of self-rule, independence.
Exactly. The struggle for a Maratha kingdom free from outside powers. Ranoji was right in the thick of it, defending territory, pushing that vision forward.
And his name comes up most strongly with one particular place.
Yes, Chakan Fort, near Pune. He became its Kiledar, the fort commander.
Which put him right in the line of fire eventually.
Directly. It led straight to the major event he's remembered for, the Mughal siege.
Ah, yes. Shaista Khan, 1660.
Precisely. Shaista Khan, a big Mughal general sent by Aurangzeb specifically to crush Shivaji. A huge army,
And Chakan was in their way.
a key obstacle. It controlled important routes, so taking it was crucial for the Mughals.
And Ranoji Wagh is inside, facing this massive force. What were the odds like?
Terrible. Just awful. Shaista Khan had, thousands upon thousands of soldiers, artillery, Ranoji, maybe a few hundred men inside the fort.
Seriously outnumbered. Limited weapons, too, I assume.
Well,
Supplies.
very limited. Everything was scarce. By any standard military math, it went hopeless.
So how on earth did they hold out for so long?
That's the core of the story, isn't it?
Mm.
Incredible bravery, leadership. The sources stress this. They didn't just roll over.
How long did they resist?
For over 50 days. Think about that.
Yeah.
50 days of constant attacks, bombardment. Ranoji and his troops used every possible tactic, every advantage the fort gave them.
Repelling attack after attack.
Exactly. Making the Mughals pay for every inch, draining their resources, and crucially, their time.
But here's where it gets really interesting. I mean, holding out is one thing, but ultimately, the fort did fall.
It did, yes. After almost 2 months, the Mughals got desperate. They couldn't breach the walls through normal assaults.
So they changed tactics.
They started mining, digging tunnels right under the fort's bastions to plant
A
explosives.
siege tactic, yeah.
And eventually one of these mines worked. It blew a massive hole in the wall.
Creating the breach. And Ranoji Wagh himself, what happened to him?
He was killed in the final assault. As the Mughals poured through the breach, he led the defense, fighting right there with his men until the very end.
He became a martyr.
A symbol of ultimate sacrifice for Swarajya, yes.
So the fort was lost, he died, but the sources seem to argue it wasn't, a pointless loss.
Oh, absolutely not pointless. Strategically, this is vital. Those 50-plus days Ranoji bought were invaluable.
How?
It completely derailed Shaista Khan's timetable. It broke his initial momentum. Think about it, almost 2 months spent just taking one fort.
That delay gave Shivaji time.
Crucial time. Time to prepare other defenses, consolidate his own forces, plan his next moves. It directly impacted the later stages of the campaign, including Shivaji's famous raid on Shaista Khan in Pune.
So that defense at Chakan, even though it ended in defeat there, was actually a strategic win in the bigger picture.
You could definitely argue that. It significantly hampered the Mughal campaign.
Looking back at Ranoji's qualities, based on these accounts, what stands out beyond just raw courage?
Well, the sources mentioned his strategic thinking, how he managed those incredibly scarce resources under immense pressure.
Resourcefulness.
And intense loyalty, not just obeying orders, but a deep commitment that clearly inspired his men to fight and die alongside him. He motivated them.
And leadership from the front, obviously.
Absolutely. Turning a small, isolated garrison into this stubborn, unyielding obstacle against a superpower.
So, bringing it to today, what's the legacy? How should we think about Ranoji Wagh?
He's often called an unsung hero of that era. His defense at Chakan is a story taught widely, especially in Maharashtra, as an example of selfless service, patriotism, and effective resistance against odds.
You see memorials, I believe?
Yes, memorials, statues, his story appears in folk traditions, songs. Chakan Fort itself is imbued with this memory of sacrifice, largely because of him.
It's a stark reminder that history isn't just made by the famous names.
Precisely. It shows how the actions of one individual leading a small group can echo through time and have real, tangible consequences.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
It does. And maybe it leaves us with a question. In a world that tends to focus on the biggest victories and the most famous figures, what can we really learn from these quote-unquote unsung heroes like Ranoji Wagh? And how do we properly value the impact of individual sacrifice on the grand sweep of history?